Hey guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you have your company core values nailed down? I'm just redoing some of my exercise here, my company core values. That's what you see here, company core values. And I just wanted to share it with you because it's really important to understand what your company core values are. And I want to explain it to you because sometimes we get wrapped up in different terminologies of values and all this other kind of stuff. So what this really means is really writing down what it means to run your company, what your company is run based around. I'm gonna give you some examples from mine just so you kind of get this. But these are not values in terms of just one word. Like, I like the word simplicity. My company is built around simplicity because I like to, help my customers because they're one of their biggest problems when they come to me for help is overwhelm, right? And they don't want to be bogged down with all kinds of steps and methods and different theories and strategies and all this. They just want the action step to get to the next piece. So simplicity is a big one for me. But I wrote it down differently here, and I'll share it with you. It's keep everything simple. So when I say that as a company core value, that it's phrased. You can see it. It's written out as a phrase. So for you, these values will help you make easier decisions on whether or not to take opportunities that come to you, whether or not to take on customers. And when you start living within your company core values, you begin to attract the right type of customers as well because you speak and you live those values. Now, here's the catch to this. This is not a one-time exercise. This is the reason why I'm doing this again. I did this last year around this time, and I kind of revisited this. I looked at my list and I kind of challenged myself and said, are you living and practicing what you preach? And I actually added that one to the bottom of the list, practice what we preach, because I wanted to make sure that I'm living within those company core values. So the whole idea here is that when you write these values down, the phrases of how you want to run your company, what it stands for, and all those really cool things, then just sit with it for a little while. Don't do this as a one-time exercise. Just even like your avatar exercises when you're looking at who your customers are and your niche and all this other stuff, things begin to change. Like you look at things and you adjust them to make sure that you're on the right path. So let me share a couple of my core values with you, only just for example, just so you can understand really how to grasp this. So the first core value, and these are not in any order whatsoever, but here's one of them. Keep everything simple, like I told you. Be honest and transparent, even if it affects the bottom line. And that, I want to explain that one to you because that one is truly how I run my company. It's really what I believe, that if I don't tell the truth, how I see the truth, especially when I'm working with clients, I'm not doing my job. So as a coach, the reason people come to me is because they want to know the next step, right? They don't want sugarcoating. And I can show you, I've got a file about this thick of applications and what they're looking for and all this. And almost 100% of them will say they don't want someone to sugarcoat and tell them what they need to hear. They tell them what they want to hear. They need to be told what they need to hear. So I've always stepped into that from day one, willing to be fired by my customers by telling them the hard stuff, and that would affect my bottom line, right? And it's happened a few times where I've told stuff and they can't really deal with it and they move on, right? So it's not disrespect between me and the customer. It's just that the relationship wouldn't work because they weren't following through on what I was telling them to do, and then they weren't getting the results. So that was a big one for me. And the next one is believe and stay the course, especially in the darkest days. And if you know anything about me, if you've followed me for a little while, you know that this is what I truly build my whole life around and my business. And this is what I talk about all the time. So I'm glad I wrote them down like last year and looking back at them going, this is really what I'm living by, which is kind of cool. The next one is simultaneously increase and protect freedom. So freedom is very special to all of us. We all want more freedom. So what I have is, I believe that I have a pretty good free life, and I'm blessed to have that. And it doesn't mean that I don't want any more, but I protect the freedom that I already have, which means that I need to be productive during the day. I need to get my work done and not grind and do like 18, 19-hour days. It's not about that. It's about protecting the freedom that I've already got and increasing it. So by being more productive and doing less work and automating more things and all that kind of stuff, really the cool stuff. I won't go through the whole list here, but I just want to share another one with you so you kind of get this. What would be a good one here? Never compromise value for price, okay? So I believe that even if I have a low-priced product or something like that, that it doesn't mean that I just cop out and give a crappy product, right? It's all about giving true value all the way through, 110%, even though there's no such thing as 110%, but over and above, right? So that's what I wanted to ask you today. And if you don't have your customer or your company core values, just spend a little bit of time about and write them down on a piece of paper, what you stand for, what your company stands for, and put them on paper. Sit with them for a little while and look back at it every couple of months, every quarter. So look back at that list and challenge yourself and do an audit on how you've operated up to that point to see if you're living within those values, because some of them may change, and they probably will change, and you can adapt them a little bit more. Eventually, within a year or so, you'll have a really good list of solid company core values that will help you make decisions. If you get all these calls of opportunities and things, and you look at your values and say, is this going to, is this aligned with my values? Yes or no? And you can make decisions, because, hey, listen, opportunities are also distractions. Okay, if it's not aligned with what you're doing, it'll help you attract the right customers if you're living within those values. Because why would you want to work with anybody who doesn't align with those values, right? They're totally opposite of what you stand for. It doesn't make any sense. And that would mean that you're just chasing money. And there's no way to run a business just by chasing money. It's always about helping people, getting more impact in their world and your world by being profitable as well, but not just chasing the money. Because if you're just chasing the money, eventually that's going to crash and burn. So anyway, that's a whole other tangent, right? So do this exercise. Do a values exercise. Sit with it for a little while and let me know how it goes for you. If you find this video any whatsoever helpful, please share it with somebody that you know it can help as well. And have yourself an awesome, awesome day. Ciao.